there's no more resistance because we're in uncharted territory, but we could conceivably see it go to 5,000, maybe 10,000, maybe even more. I don't even hazard a guess. I don't know when it's going to happen. I'm not sure that it's going to happen, but I am sure that Eric Sprott, should it happen, is going to be the biggest beneficiary of it. And this means that his influence in the space will position him as one of the most powerful individuals on the planet. So let's take a look at Eric's journey.
You're listening to Kerry Lutz's Financial Survival Network, where you get valuable information you just can't find anywhere else. To thrive in today's trying times, you need the Financial Survival Network, now more than ever. Go to financialsurvivalnetwork.com and get your free newsletter and gift. Financial Survival Network, now more than ever.
And welcome. This is Financial Survival Network. I'm your host, Kerry Lutz. It's time for another Triple Lutz Report. And this is Triple Lutz Report 495. So, wrote an article. I hope you've all had a chance to take a look at it. Basically, is Eric Sprott the next Elon Musk? And look, we've been living in a world dominated by tech billionaire oligarchs like Elon Musk. He is an oligarch, even though he might be out of touch with the other oligarchs because he seems to be leaning more and more left, more and more right, rather, whereas the other oligarchs keep leaning more and more left. He is an unabashed supporter of free speech, whether it's fake news or whether it's whatever, deep fakes, whatever it might be. Satire, which was just outlawed in California, deep fakes within 90 days of an election or 120 days before, 90 days after. It's insane. But look, when it comes to impact upon society, all of his different businesses, Musk is in a league all his own. But I believe we are heading towards a reversion back to original wealth. And original wealth was basically wealth you took from the ground. And that could be trapping furs in Canada. That could be water. Now it's precious metals, gold, silver, platinum. And Eric Sprott, multi-billionaire from Canada, interviewed him once many years ago. He was quite gracious, just a regular guy. In the past 20 years that I've been doing this, actually 25 years since I started buying gold, Eric Sprott has quietly amassed one of the most formidable portfolios, if not the most formidable, in the mining sector. And as the prices of gold and silver continue to climb, his wealth and power are going to climb too, and perhaps they will eclipse or surpass all the tech moguls, including Elon Musk. Now, Eric's been doing this for 50 years nearly, and he started when gold was probably around $180, $200 the ounce. Currently, gold's hovering near $2,600 an ounce, and I believe it's poised for an even more explosive rally once it hits 3,000. That is a major psychological number. There's no more resistance because we're in uncharted territory, but we could conceivably see it go to 5,000, maybe 10,000, maybe even more. I don't even hazard a guess. I don't know when it's going to happen. I'm not sure that it's going to happen, but I am sure that Eric Sprott, should it happen, is going to be the biggest beneficiary of it. And this means that his influence in the space will position him as one of the most powerful individuals on the planet. So let's take a look at Eric's journey to becoming a multi-billionaire. He began in the finance world, not in the tech world. And after starting his career as a research analyst at Merrill Lynch, he founded Sprott Securities in 1981 and set his sights on the resource sector. And unlike many investors who chased the fast-growing tech stock, he remained committed to the tangible value of precious metals. His conviction that hard assets such as gold and silver would serve as the ultimate store of wealth in times of economic turbulence. That is kind of the hallmark of his career. Look, what we've seen is dollar hegemony threatened, de-dollarization, the Bank for International Settlements declaring that gold is a tier one asset. So basically, he's invested heavily in gold, silver, and mining companies, as well as being a physical holder. He's got several ETFs that hold precious metals that actually are audited and can prove their assets. They're audited yearly, and some of them are even audited more than that. The spot physical commodity ETFs, he's got one for uranium now. But perhaps his greatest asset is his ability to identify undervalued mining firms, provide them with the capital necessary to develop their resources and come to market or be bought out. And this strategy has earned him billions already. But if I'm correct, and I believe that I am, in the coming surge in precious metals, this fortune could increase exponentially. And look, so gold currently 2,600 an ounce, pretty close. Many experts predict it's just the beginning of a much larger rally. I think it is too. I don't know when the next phase of it is. My personal feeling is probably time for a pullback to like the 2,400, 2,350 at the bottom. But it could go more than that, because one thing about the gold market and the precious metals market is that it always frustrates the majority of participants and always proves them wrong. So, but look at the factors that are driving this potential surge. Inflation, global economic uncertainty, wars. I mean, we got multiple wars taking place, some of which you know about, you read in the papers, Ukraine, Israel, Middle East, but some of them are just very covered up. You don't even know what's going on. Africa, there's wars happening. Not much in South America, but that could blow up at any time. China, is China going to invade Taiwan? My gut feel is they are not. They like to project power and saber rattle. Right now, China, as you're not aware, has claimed large swaths of the South China Sea as their own, for which they have no historical claim upon. But they go back like 2,000 years. Some people from China landed in the Philippines, so it's ours. And they've made these artificial islands which are sinking. So my point is, I don't want to dwell on it too much, is that the geopolitical situation, the risk of global conflagration has never been higher. And when we look, silver has been the laggard. Silver, right now is around $31 the ounce. It just can't seem to stay over $30. But there was a guy, Biederman, who I used to interview when I first started my podcast, and he said, right now, silver is the worst investment in the world. But one day, you are going to wake up and silver will be the best investment in the world. I don't know when that's happening, but my gut feel is it's sooner rather than later. So a silver and a gold boom would increase Sprott's influence dramatically. And in my opinion, it will surpass the tech entrepreneurs and the hedge fund managers in the world. And a strategic vision will guide the development of some of the most valuable resource companies. Happened back in the 30s when gold was devalued. And this led to, it was an interesting thing. When gold was devalued, the purchasing of the power of the dollar was actually going up. So when they tried to inflate, they weren't able to. So effectively, they gave all of these active miners a gift. Gold went from, $34 to $42, which is a huge increase. It's like 25%. But this was on top of a dollar that had already increased in purchasing power. Now we're seeing a dollar decreasing in purchasing power. So the one thing I see happening here, and it's a wake-up call to the investment world, all wealth begins with resources, and extractive industries. Traditionally, that was the way wealth was created. For decades, technology has been at the forefront of wealth creation. But without the basic resources, gold, silver, copper, nickel, and numerous other metals, uranium, there can be no tech revolution. Everything from EVs to renewable energy infrastructure requires these raw materials, and demand is growing, but the governments of the world are so stupid, they're not speeding up the turnaround time for permitting of mines. In fact, that time has gotten longer and longer, and less huge mines are being developed. So Sprott, he understood this truth a long time ago. He had the ability, the financial wherewithal to wait it out. And finally, his wait is going to be paid off. And look, when you've got currency devaluation, the debt increasing geometrically, all these things, and then a lack of supply, this means something major is going to happen. I don't know when, but I think the thesis is clear. It's going to happen. Just be prepared. So his ability to control such a large portion of the market gives him significant geopolitical influence as well. Governments and industries will need the resources produced by the companies in his portfolio, making him an essential player in the global economy. And his power is not just going to be limited to financial markets. As his wealth and influence grow, he'll likely become a more prominent figure in shaping the global marketplace. And look, he's getting older. He's up in years. I don't remember his exact age, but the fact is, assuming he stays around and he stays healthy, the trend is set. He's going to be a key player in global resource policy, and he's going to drive the future of extractive industries. So he may not just be the next Elon Musk. He could become an even more dominant force, defining the future of global wealth and power in the resource-driven world to come. So it's been another Triple Lutz report. Kerry Lutz signing off. Make sure you go over to financialsurvivalnetwork.com. Take a look at what we've got. Sign up for your free newsletter. Hey, all. Great to talk with you again. We'll be back.
Thanks for listening to Kerry Lutz's Financial Survival Network, your solution to today's trying times. For the latest, go to financialsurvivalnetwork.com. Financial Survival Network, now more than ever.